Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Okay, gonna go through this really fast because it's weekend and, well, it's weekend and not much is really happening in the crypto market. Check this out. 18-month average retail price chart. This is when the beginning of COVID, roughly here, and then we have election day, 2018, and we rock along here. And as you can see, this is basically your average gas price. So it's been going up steadily, but then Russia invades Ukraine. And look at that. Bam. That is a huge difference in gas price really, really fast. That's a bit abrupt. So, well, hedge your bets. This gray line right here is the COVID crash. This is basically money printing here in the US. As you can see, we pumped like crazy, printing money to keep the economy from crashing, but we haven't stopped. Just looking at the gas prices and money printing, it should give you a weird feeling. If not, well, that's fine. But to me, I think we just take that into account. Uh, we are in unique times on so many levels. So bitcoindailyview.com got more for you there, links to things that I talk about, etc. Some news real quick, exclusive: Russians liquidating crypto in the UAE as they seek safe havens. Now, why this is important to note, this is a story from today. It's out of Reuters. If I read the summary, basically, fearing asset freeze, Russians use crypto to get money out. Rich Russians buying property in Dubai. Some regulators fear crypto can be used to bust sanctions. Western diplomats alarmed by influx of Russian fortunes. So, for the most part, you've got one of the things that it covers here in this article is the desire to sell like Bitcoin. So, like one part of the article here is we have one guy, I don't know who he is, but he came through a broker and they're like, we want to sell 125,000 Bitcoin. And I'm like, what? That's 6 billion, guys. And they're like, yeah, we're going to send it to a company in Australia. So this kind of centers around Swiss banking and Swiss brokers. So this is interesting stuff. I just point this out because, as always, hedge your bets. This is exactly what I'm going to call them the globalists, would love to use as leverage to basically label Bitcoin as terrorism. And to anybody who thinks that overnight they just couldn't say, hey, guess what? In the US or maybe even some parts of the, Europe, guess what? If you own it, that's terrorism. We will haul your ass off. This is the leverage that they need. This is the kind of story that they need. This is the kind of thing happening that they need. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with this. This is what Bitcoin is for. And it's kind of above the notion of what it's being accused of. So watch out, hedge your bets, just be aware. Don't be one of the people who says they can't do that. I'll go hit him over the head with my rolled up constitution I keep in my back pocket. Bonk, bonk, bonk. No, it won't go well for you. They would like it if you tried. So hedge your bets. We are in wartime. Be aware, crazy shit can happen that never could have happened before, but that the evil Skeksis have always wanted to do. I will link to this little talk here. It's already linked over at Bitcoin Daily View Telegram chat, but I'll link it here too in the live chat. This is a fun interview with Cliff High. If you know Cliff High, he's a cool old character. Go about 20 minutes in. They just play music at the beginning. He talks about current events from an extremely wild, eclectic standpoint. A lot of his history does check out. He has worked where he says he did and such like that. So Cliff High, he's for real. He's crazy. He's eccentric. He always has unique views on things that nobody else does. I think it has value. So there you go. There's my Get Wiser PSA for the day. As you can see here, this 10-second candles here. This is insane. We've really seen a lot of volatility, a lot of longs and shorts getting wrecked. The bears and bulls are after it on the big level here. So lots of money flying around. The bulls and the bears are straight up cage match with axe handles, man. All right, so far today. So spot trading, if you look here on all the big exchanges, it's down a couple percent or either single or double digits down. So it's Friday. This is to be expected. It's a volatile week, volatile weekend probably. There's a war going on. And I would just be aware that right now the volume is falling. So be careful. if you're going to be trading this weekend, unless volume picks up, let's get back in the green, I myself am going to stay out of the market, other than my long-term hodls that, like most people are experiencing, are getting wrecked as hell right now. So derivatives, 54 billion on Binance. 50 will get you by. Good enough derivative volume. But spot trading not happening, dumping off really, really quick as this weekend approaches. If you look over here at the 7-day graph, you can see all the exchanges are kind of trailing off right now. So volume going potty, as you'd kind of expect for the weekend. So go, drink some Irish whiskey, go and play whatever, flag kite, do something fun, spend time with your families or just yourself, meditate, do something good for yourself, because trading might not be the best option this weekend unless we see volume pick up. Or unless you're waiting for Armageddon and you're a shorter waiting to hit that little button for the massive short right before you evaporate. Anyway, Bitcoin, Bitcoin 38,890 right now. We're below 39,000. That makes me a little bit edgy. We do have some coins in the green though. Polkadot is doing great right now. It's probably a lot of people actually buying shit coins. I mean, like mega shit coins, a lot of mega shit coins on MetaMask. A lot of the total shit coins of shit coins are on serious sale right now. So if you're a speculative buyer of mega shit coins, you're probably all about Polkadot right now, and SushiSwap, etc. So bam, that's in the green a bit, up 3.6%. So people are buying this dip, especially for the mega shitcoiners. Zcash is doing great, up 10%. Thorchain, and it should be doing well because Thorchain's friggin' cool as hell, and its ticker is Ruin. So we're gonna look at that because Odin, baby. All right, Theta Fuel up 4.6%. How about Theta itself? Theta Network is down 0.9. So anyway, I have no idea what Kadena is, but KDA, I've heard it. I see it pop up a lot of times on scanners. KDA, whatever it is, Kadena is up 13%. We have a couple things making moves today. Good enough. I like seeing that. I like seeing that alts are not completely getting crushed while we have low volume. Bitcoin trading volume explicitly is at 3. Let me refresh this here just to get the latest. It is at 3.9. So basically, it's at 4 billion, just hitting 4 billion for Bitcoin trading volume explicitly. Good enough. I'll take it. Binance 2.3 billion. Coinbase did not quite make $1 billion, coming in at 742 million. All right. There you go. Not much volume trading off, but it ain't really dead either. Interesting weekend. I would expect it to be like below 3 billion at this point, but it isn't. So definitely we got some action going on. So some of this crazy longing and shorting, buying and selling, it's not just whales, except for this guy who just bought 1.2 million in Bitcoin. Good on you. I like that. So looking at cryptometer.io, so we've got 4 billion here over at Bitcoin trading volume. If we go over to cryptometer.io, let this thing refresh real quick. Sorry for the delay. It tends to refresh whenever you click on the tab for the browser. That's good. We get the latest information. So come on now. Refresh, refresh, refresh. Faster. All right. We may give up in a second if it doesn't come back. Come on, Cryptometer. There it is. Cryptometer. It says 4.8 billion. That's a little bit of a difference. So 4 billion versus 4.8 billion. Definitely a difference there. All right. So you got your volume. It says volume's down 3.7% last 24 hours. I think it's probably more than that. But then again, if we're looking for Bitcoin explicitly, yeah, it's probably fine. Probably down about 4%. So market buy orders are up 1.7%, and they're also market sell orders are up 8%. So basically, we're going to the weekend, kind of setting up for kind of a low volume weekend. I mean, that kind of makes sense to me. It doesn't really concern me. Good weekend just to take off, unless you're going to be, aggressively looking for those shorts, or possibly, like I'm going to be watching for volume. And if I see volume pick up, I'll definitely hop back on this weekend. I'll do Bitcoin daily views, Saturday and Sunday anyway. We'll see how things are going. But right now, it's time to chill. 68% long, 31% short for Bitcoin on Binance. Definitely a long sentiment. And for Ethereum, 67% long, 32% short for Ethereum on Binance. So long bias for Bitcoin and Ethereum on Binance. Silver dumping, but it kind of wicked down to the 382 fib level. Gold is on top here. So gold, it was pumping recently. It's been retracing a bit. It wicked down to the 382 fib level. Let's see if it decides to bounce there. I mean, that is quite a run for gold, which is kind of a, you know, a the ultimate boomer asset. Anyway, gold is it pumped like crazy. It's retracing, to be expected, not a big deal. It may have found a spot where it's going to bounce. Looking at silver on the bottom, pumping, looking wonderful. Now it's going sideways, good to go. Both are still above all the important moving averages on the daily. All right. USD bought with rubles, still making money, of course, but you've been sideways kind of the last couple of days. Here in the middle, rubles bought by with USD. Definitely, you dumped hardcore for a while, but now you're kind of going sideways. That's kind of happening. That's the case, basically. You know, USD bought with rubles, made money. It's sideways now. Rubles bought with USD, definitely lost money. Now it's sideways right now. So there you go. Looking at the very, very bottom here, this is crude right now. It did pump like crazy. And even though we're still got wars going on and things like that, and we're doing things like, well, everything stupid imaginable by the current administration and NATO, we've got, well, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not taking sides. I just, you know, I see it as an act of, you know, NATO aggression. I'm not a Putin fan, but if I had to, you know, pick a side to say is probably, you know, the more innocent, it would be Mr. Putin over there. So anyway, $108 a barrel. So this is interesting because it's been running up as to be expected. Why it's dumping off right now? It's interesting. It's bouncing off the 20 WMA. Interesting. That's a good place for support. I don't quite get why it's still not free falling. I mean, why it's still not pumping. This is just interesting. I don't quite get why this is happening. Like, it doesn't really seem right to me. There's no reason for that to be happening. Tensions really are only escalating. I don't see why oil would be losing, you know, value per barrel. If we look, though, it does make sense, though. It is a 382 fib level bounce. It is a 20 WMA bounce. So, you know, maybe it pumped harder than it really had to be, but we'll see what's happening. It's interesting. It's weekend. Maybe this will give people a little bit of a break, a little bit cheaper per gallon, maybe, or liter if you're over there in Europe. Okay, so let's look at S&P 500 in the red today, losing the important 314 moving average. Russell 2000 here in the bottom left. It's been riding the 20 WMA. It's just kind of sideways. Russell 2000 index been sideways for a while. Red day today. So there you go. Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's lost all important moving averages, and it's been all over the place. You could almost call this sideways last couple of days, but today we have a very, very, very indecisive red doji. So basically, S&P 500, red candle today. Russell 2000, red candle today. Dow Jones Industrial Average, red candle today. Dollar Strength Index, and something that I did here, this little red square, like a red highlight, that notes when Russia invaded. The day it started, as you can see, the dollar strength index has been pumping like crazy ever since the invasion started, which goes to show that this is good for business. But basically, after a bounce off the 20 WMA, we're continuing to head up. We kind of had a little bit of a dump during the week, but now it's heading back up. We'll see what happens. Dollar strength index continues to dominate. Let's see this is an interesting one to watch. You know, watching from when we started to invade. I'm sorry, when Russia moved into Ukraine. Let's watch it right here. Let's keep expanding this box here and just seeing how the dollar strength index is affected. I think that's a really important thing to look at, along with how the price of oil is doing. All right, I might just do actually a chart that just shows dollar strength index and crude, and maybe like the ruble versus dollar or something like that. We'll refine this a bit more. Anyway, let's go way over here to, this is, as you can see, we all know yesterday we had this glorious pump. Everybody was extremely happy, but it really did not hold out very long. But what's important to note, let me hide all the indicators here. Can I do that? Yeah. Okay, so this white moving average here is a 45-minute chart. This white moving average here, we did burst above it earlier today, or last night, I should say, and now we're dumped below it. Let's see what happens. Here's the big thing for this weekend. This is what I'm going to be watching, okay? I'm going to put an alert in right here, all right? I'm looking for Bitcoin to cross the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, okay? And if that happens and it can hold that for a couple hours, then I definitely will be looking to get back in the market. And I think we're going to see some alts start to lose their freaking minds. We just need at least 12 hours or so above that 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. And you watch, alts will start getting crazy. It'll be time to revisit ones you've been watching. Definitely some badass versus BTC alt trades that you could do to make some serious crazy sats. So if we bring back the stuff, let's start over here. As you can see, this is a daily chart doing a fib way back from like 20th of July to our top back in like 10th of November or so. Right now, Bitcoin's kind of lost most of the important moving averages. Actually, it's lost all of them on the daily, and the MACD, unfortunately, is trending negative right now. So this is a weak ass place to be. A negative MACD going into a low volume weekend spells definitely the perfect environment for whales to do serious manipulation. And they usually do it towards the downside. Okay, so be careful. If you're a shorter, make sure you're a damn good shorter before you play their game. And now, as you can see, we're holding out at the 786 level here for this fib. It makes sense. This is a good spot to be holding out. Let's see if we can hold that. If we get below like 37,700, I'm seriously going to be looking at, well, watching the market closely, because below that, I think we definitely might dump further. Everyone has their idea of what might happen when support is kind of gone. But for me personally, looking at this piece of time, I really think if we lose that 786, I'm going to be somewhat watchful at that point for further dumpage. So let's see if we can stay above, 38,000 this weekend. That would be really, really spiffy Bitcoin if you could do that. All right. And here, this is the 45-minute chart we were looking at earlier. I might be taking some liberties here, but that's okay. You can kind of see, even though we have these big pumps, these big mega pumps, and up here, this gray line here is the 618 fib level from this chart, as you can see, which has basically been a place where if we can get above it, we can seriously rock. As you can see, if we do get across above, boom, it is seriously Lambo time. So note that, but right now we are not above it. We're below it. So Bitcoin's been challenging it, and you can see Bitcoin's been working at it. It wants to break above, it wants to break above. So once it does, do expect probably, just saying, another run like we saw back here if it breaks above. And if it did, that would be, a pretty glorious moment. And so if you were to be sitting in Bitcoin at that time, if you were to cross that 618 fib and you were to ride it up to, previous highs, that would be like 56%, so, and if it did it about in the time frame that it made that last run up, that would be like in less than a month at most, you're probably going to see 50%. So, we got some seriously cool stuff going on. Just need to break above that 618 golden pocket, and we shall see how it goes. Bitcoin certainly has been trying recently to do so. But the world is falling apart and on fire, and well, that causes problems in the market and in people's lives and things like that. So anyway, this is the range, this gray area here. The red on top is where they're going to be doing the selling. On the bottom, the green is where they're going to be doing the buying. The gray is, of course, the middle. That's a kind of no man's land right there. So, I'm just going to make this is very, very obvious. It's very, very clear to most people here. But you can kind of see where the bulls will buy. No, they'll sell here. They're going to come in here, buy. They're going to sell. They're going to, sorry, got that backwards. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Let me just do it because I'm a little bit delirious today. So they buy. So they're going to buy here. No, they're going to sell here. They're going to buy here. They're going to sell here. They're going to buy here. They're going to sell here. They're going to buy here. They're going to hold. They're hold. Oh, this is great. They got it. They're probably going to buy on the way down. But anyway, just saying that these zones right here, these ranges that you see created over time, they can last like 30 days, 60 days or so. Whales love to just work these zones. And I'm telling you, don't think there's not a conference call going on where people are doing market sells and buys and such like that. I do certainly believe that there are. So with that said, this is the range. It's worth taking a look at. What I will do here, if you so desire, or even if you do not, I'm going to copy a link to this chart image. I'm going to stick it in the Bitcoin Daily View. Oh, actually, in the YouTube stream right now. I'm going to stick it over at Bitcoin Daily View Telegram chat. If you want to kind of make a copy of that, and just note that is most likely where the where these whales, as you can see, who are on it 24/7, rocking it, manipulating the market. If you think like them, you can make money like them, so, just don't hate them, love them. I mean, what they're doing is clear to see. So play the same game, make money. Anyway, Rune versus BTC. This has been doing really, really well. I bought in yesterday, somewhere around here, and it was great. I had a very, very tight trailing take profit, so it sold already. If I had stayed in it, I'd have made a lot more money. But anyway, I made some, good enough. It ain't about making all of it. It's about consistently making some of it. So anyway, right now, Rune versus BTC, working this upwards channel. It's at the top. It's kind of overextended. These indicators, I'm going to watch and see what happens. I think it needs to visit the heartbeat of this upwards channel first, or maybe even come back all the way down to the bottom. Let's just watch what it does. Definitely Ruin. If you can get in this thing and you can get yourself in some green profit, if you can get a trailing take profit going, or you can keep moving your stop up with a limit once you're in green, this definitely could be a crazy play. So Rune versus BTC, not financial advice, but I am working this one. Okay. Perp versus BTC. I have no idea what perp is, but it's on Binance and KuCoin. I like that. That means basically almost anybody can get in on it. Now, if you've been watching me for very long, you know very well these blue diamond merit badges mean pump. They mean some serious action. So this thing here, perp versus BTC, has been giving it back for quite a while. It's collecting blue diamond merit badges. It just made a move. Indicators are looking kind of interesting. Honestly, this is perp versus BTC. KRI is ticking up here. Sorry about that. KRI is starting to tick up. Look at that. You got your directional indexes in the green, ADX is in the right spot. Squeeze indicator is not quite showing upward velocity yet, but it's getting there. Stochastic RSI is turning up. That's nice. It's got a ways to go. And wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear pretty much agrees. So I'm not going to get in it, but I'm going to keep watching this one. I'll probably regret not getting it. Anyway, STX versus BTC. I like this one because it is on Binance, KuCoin, and CoinEx. So everybody can play this one. Had a crazy pump recently when Bitcoin was doing well. Now it's come down to the 618 golden pocket. It's hanging out there. Indicators are kind of like showing maybe we're going to run. I don't know if we're going to see this thing do anything over the weekend, but keep an eye on this one. Definitely, this is one if Bitcoin starts turning up to watch because you might make some serious sats against your Bitcoin. All right, Zen versus BTC. This thing was doing great. It was pumping like crazy. And it still kind of is in a way. I mean, it's higher than it was, but basically it could not keep its upwards channel here in the 45-minute chart. It has lost it, but it may make a bounce here in the 618 golden pocket. I will tell you what. I'm going to copy a link to this chart image, and you can check it out yourself. I like this one. This is definitely one that I'm watching for this weekend to see if it quite possibly starts making a move. Definitely one that could be a play. Store J. I love this project because it's a very good project. Store J against BTC. Crazy pump recently. It's hanging out here on the 786. All it needs is a little bit of volition. Its indicators show that it could definitely start to move up. I'm going to be watching this one, Store J versus BTC. I am very hesitant to actually get in anything right now with Bitcoin's volume so low. I kind of expect Bitcoin to do some dipping this weekend unless the volume picks up, and that's fine. If it dips, it's fine. Just be careful. Make sure if you get in any alt trades that you are seriously you're getting into something which is moving up in the green, kind of like perp versus BTC is right now. Not so much like Ruin, but basically get in that green, get a limit order in there, get a trailing take profit, do something like that, protect yourself because Bitcoin very well could do bad things this weekend. And, especially with the FUD coming out, so we have low volume, got FUD, got war, got articles like this. This one here is exactly like I mentioned earlier. This is what the Skeksis need to shut Bitcoin down, to call it terrorism. It's what they need, so be careful. Reuters did not put this out because they think and they're doing any journalism. They were told to. So with that said, remember, every time you smile, a reptilian goes hungry. So the best way to make it through this time is seriously go find something this weekend that makes you happy and do it. Maybe it's making the perfect grilled cheese. Maybe it's, I don't know, looking at leaves, whatever it is, do something that makes your heart sing, do something that gives you the experience of life, because Really, that and having some Bitcoin Satoshis for basically, if you can smile, if you can find the experience of life, really, and just feel it, meditate, feel life this weekend, and stack some Bitcoin sats, buy some Bitcoin, because really, truly, the experience of life, being connected to your soul and God, being happy, and owning some Bitcoin Satoshis. Seriously, that's how we put this bullshit to bed that the globalists want to do to this planet right now. So, that said, see everybody later. I'm glad you're part of the peaceful revolution.